Good morning, peeps. Welcome to United View. I've got noise in the background in my headphones. Let's turn that off. What's going on? Welcome to the show. Congratulations to KG, who was here before all of us. Congratulations to KG for being the guy in the comments who's doing the trolling because he's happy that he actually turned up to a show that he's not meant to be on before we did. Easy.
But that's why. That's
You know what
why,
I mean?
Flex. Let's
Easy when you're in your car on the way somewhere.
Yeah. I was going to say that's why he's talking about going. Oh yeah, look at me on time, late view. Oh, and this is unacceptable. Rah rah rah. The only reason he's on time is because he's not actually on the show. Because if he was on the show, he would be late. Because he's always late. That's the KG kind of deal, right? Even in that vlog, when you went to Amsterdam, he starts off the video going, "I don't know why they're saying I'm late. I don't know why they're saying I'm late." You fly to another country. What was he? He was with you. He was late.
He was late to the passport check-in. How? He was with me. So, you know.
And there was no one there. He had to walk through that little sort of all the ropes by himself.
Yeah, no one was there. No one was there. This is what it is, Owen. But, I don't want to get onto KG like that so early in the morning.
I
but
do.
Those in glass houses, those in glass houses should not be throwing stones. But on a more positive note, KG says he has a huge audition today. Fingers crossed for your boy. So don't worry. He's got that in the bag. And we all wish KG good luck with his audition today for a massive, massive opportunity. I'm sure he's going to smash it and kill it
Absolutely.
as well. Our boy, so well wishes to big up KG. Big up to the community though. Big up to everyone watching at home. Big up to everyone watching around the world on your way to work with your morning coffee and your croissant and your bagel or whatever it is you choose to have for breakfast. Big up if you've chosen to come to United View for your morning dose of transfer news. And smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. Like grabbing the headline says, just give us your news. He's like, just. I don't care about KG. I don't care about his audition. Just give us the news. What's the news?
What that's followed up with as well with Owen is so disrespectful.
Yeah, you are. Kaka's right. But let's get into the news. Let's do it. Darwin Nunez talks. Laurie Whitwell has reported that Manchester United are holding talks with Darwin Nunez. It's something that, again, we know it's been discussed internally. It's something that we know Manchester United are interested in. It looked like, I remember a week ago, there was reports saying that Nunez has kind of said no to Manchester United because of the situation of not being in the Champions League. But now we're getting that, Manchester United are talking to him. He's always been appreciated by Manchester United. And George Mendes is somewhere involved in this. Obviously, you got the Ronaldo situation with Mendes, so there's that link. And he's one of the names that Manchester United are in talks with. So what are you saying about this, Owen? Because it's an interesting dynamic here of what's going on. 1 minute he said no because there's no Champions League. Yeah. Now it's no, there's talks. Then there's the price. There's a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on there. I think it's interesting, and this just goes to show what the transfer season is like, and we've barely dipped our toe into it, to be honest. That 1 week he's rejected Manchester United, the next week we're in talks with him and George Mendes. That's kind of how it works. I like Nunez, I do, because I do think he's more of the number 9 that I myself think United should sign this summer. But go back to price, go back to options. I don't know if we're going to be... I'd be surprised if we were the only club interested in him. He seems to be like... we were talking the other day when we were saying that every transfer window, there's almost this pool of players that are definitely going to leave, and they're going to go somewhere. You just don't really know where it's going to be. That was like that in January with all of those people that were going to leave, whether it was, because those names get kind of put around with like Zakaria, Alvarez, etc., Diaz, and then they all end up going to their respective they all go to their respective places. Nunez is definitely in this year's pool, if you will. He's in this year's draft pool in the sense of he's going to go somewhere. He will have multiple clubs interested. I'm sure of it. I'm sure. The fact that United have been in talks with either his management team or the fact that we've got that link with George Mendes is a positive. It'd be interesting to know what Ronaldo would say to him, wouldn't it? Do you think Ronaldo is the kind of guy to sort of sell the project to Mendes?
Big question. He doesn't even know what it is himself yet, does he?
Or with Mendes or whatever, would he be looking at the situation with Ronaldo and say to Nunez, it's a big one you're stepping into?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, exactly. He would definitely warn Nunez of what's going on here. And we also have to note as well that a lot of reports are claiming that it's a battle. It's a battle of Manchester United, Liverpool, and Real Madrid. Some reports have even, said that a deal could be finished by Sunday. We'll have to wait and see on that. But this is the Athletic who are going on this, and that's a reputable source. Laurie Whitwell saying that Manchester United are in talks with him. So that doesn't mean that a bid's incoming or et cetera, et cetera. It just means obviously that Manchester United definitely are interested to put their name into the hat for him. But is Nunez looking more? You look at what Real Madrid are probably willing to do. They've missed out on Mbappe. They probably want that proper number 9 or forward of some sort to back up Benzema. If it was a toss-up between Real Madrid and Manchester United, would the Ronaldo charm be enough to get him to come over Real Madrid? Or Ronaldo might even say, listen, I'm a Real Madrid legend. Go there. Yes.
Yeah.
We forget
and it's
that
difficult
too. Do you know what I mean?
with the Madrid one as well, because they have missed out on quite a few targets, isn't it? You mentioned Mbappe, but they were in the race for Haaland, didn't win that one. I don't know if they were really in that race for Pogba, but they were listed in for him. Like, they're looking for that marquee, this is our summer signing. I don't even know from their perspective, considering the people they were looking at, when you're talking about Mbappe and Haaland, if Nunez even fits that category. You could argue that he's more of a guy maybe to develop into that sort of big marquee name. There's no doubt he'll go for a lot of money this summer, but in comparison to your Mbappes or your Haalands, it's not going to get as many headlines. But I think at this point, there's no way they're not going to do a bit of big business this summer, even to the point now, not just because they need to, but after sort of, let's say, the embarrassment of how the Mbappe one sort of came out, they want to try and turn the narrative a little bit. They want to try and turn the tide as if to say, we can still get big people, and they're in a Champions League final. And let's be honest, if they win on Saturday, why wouldn't Nunez want to go to them? He'd be like, European champions,
Exactly.
And that situation in La Liga is what it is at the moment. They won the league this season. You would say they're probably the favourites next year, considering the sort of turmoil that happens at Barca and the uncertainty there. So Nunez might be thinking, I can go to Real Madrid. They just won the Champions League. They'll probably win the league next season. They're going to be involved in, the Club World Championship. They're going to be involved in lots of things, and it's Real Madrid. It's a tough race for Manchester United. And again, it goes back to, okay, what can we offer Nunez that Real Madrid can't? Maybe it's money. Maybe it's being part of the project. Maybe it's playing with Ronaldo. It'll be interesting to know again, Uruguay international. Does he have a conversation with Edison Cavani? You think he probably would? What would Cavani even say to him when Cavani's outside going out the door as well? Because Cavani could sort of say two things. Well, he could say two things, couldn't he? He could say, look, I tell you what, first they love me. And it's true. Like, he became a bit of a cult figure in the space of a season. And he could say the crowd's great. He could also say the club's in a mess right now. But if you get it right there, they'll love you. And it is tough playing in England. Or he could say on the other side of it, don't go anywhere near it, mate. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
So
no,
exactly. It's difficult.
I think that, in terms of the profile of Darwin Nunez, I think that's probably the most interesting thing about being on the right track. He's 22 years of age, Uruguayan. And I've just looked at his stats from this season. And I think when you've coming off the back of a really positive season, it puts you into the shop window and you're highly tipped and you've got that in the back pocket and you've been playing Champions League and lighting it up as well. I think that goes a long way. Then obviously your agent is George Mendes. I mean, in all competitions this year, he's played 41 games and scored 34 goals, 28 games in the league, 26 goals. Champions League played 10, scored 6. I remember him scoring against Liverpool a couple of times. Done really well against them. Scored against Ajax, scored against Bayern Munich, scored 2 against Barcelona in the group stage. So he's scoring big goals against the big teams. So he definitely comes high stock, and I can see why, people are, tipping him highly, and he's the flavor of the month. He's definitely that flavor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the Liverpool one as well, he was. People were talking about him anyway. You would see that stuff on social media.
Yeah.
People are interested. You'd see like the Romano stuff. People are interested. He's scoring all of these goals in Portugal, but then they played Liverpool, and he was scoring a goal at Anfield and all that kind of stuff. And then people go, actually, okay, because sometimes in those Champions League games where people talk about this guy's having a good season,
everyone judges it off that.
Yeah, and they go completely quiet, and they don't have a good game, and they go, oh, they're rubbish. Well, they played so and so in the Champions League, they're terrible. But if they score a goal and they're a little bit of a handful, people will go, oh, actually. And maybe, and it's true. It is true. You do look at that game and go, oh, big stage, scored a goal, and you do legitimately put yourself in the shop window a little bit. So if you had to push me and said, do you think that we'll sign him? Shockingly, I'm still very much on the fence about this one, but I would probably lean more to say no than yes.
Yeah.
I
think we're trying to. I just don't think.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to. I mean, when Tomas says, this is the problems. We see numbers and stats, but did anyone even watch those games? And that's just it. I saw. I'm not going to lie. I saw the ones in the Champions League. Those ones in the Champions League, I did watch. Against Ajax, against Liverpool. I did watch the 2 against Liverpool to just keep an eye on him, and I liked what I saw in those games. But those are 3 games. Those are 3 games. So. You're right. We need a big.
You would hope
big
the United
size.
scouts were watching more than those 3 games. Those 3 games, you would hope. But who knows?
100%, and that's what I'm saying. We're not scouts. I'm certainly not a scout. I don't think Owen is a scout in his spare time that we don't know about at a really high level. Obviously KG is a scout in his own right, but I don't profess to have say like I've tracked this player from when they were 18. I've been watching them closely. I watched all of Benfica's games. I've watched, a good 20 games of them this season. I just haven't. So, do you know what I mean? You have to. You're right. Wentmos. You have to be alert to that. But I think when there's a general consensus that a lot of top clubs are looking, you've got to go with the consensus of actually this player looks like he can be something / someone, and then the numbers add up to back it up as well. It doesn't mean they're going to come to our club or the next move and going to be an amazing situation. I remember when Martin Odegaard was the bollocks. I remember when it was he went to Real Madrid. He was 16, something like that, and it was like he
made his like Norway debut at like 15 or something ridiculous.
Do you know what I mean? And he's only now. Well, I know at Sociedad he did well, to be fair, on loan and that, but only now is he he's found a home and he's starting his actual career. Do you know what I mean? So it does take time. I remember when Freddie Adu was the shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember the ones like that. John Wixon says Nunez to back up CR7 will be like Henderson with David De Gea. Bench majority of the time with high transfer fee and weekly wages paid unless CR7 plays at left wing. Yeah, I definitely can't see Ronaldo playing at left wing. It is interesting with that with Darwin Nunez because exactly he is going to cost a lot of money because he's so highly tipped. He actually he ticks the boxes of what Ralph was saying about players of the next step of the career and, young and can turn them into world class. He ticks all of that, only 22 on the up. But the money that he would cost, that is true. He probably would spend a lot of time on the bench for at least his first year. So that's what I was saying. I remember when we was talking about the type of striker that Ten Hag would want. It's very interesting to see what type of striker he wants in the long run versus in the interim because he has Ronaldo for a year at least. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, also though as well, who's to say that Ten Hag, if we did sign Nunez, doesn't come up with a resolution to play both? We always have this conversation as well when it comes to signing people. When we go, but so-and-so is not going to want to sit on the bench and what have you. Obviously, no player likes to sit on the bench, but this is a squad game. We are in, not that I don't know if we're going to win any of them, but we're in multiple competitions next season. There's 5 substitutes. You look at Grealish, he cost Man City 100 million. He spent a lot of time on the bench this season, because whether that's adapting or not fitting or what have you. And I know people will say, but you can't sign Nunez and he's going to be sitting on the bench for half the season. But you do need options, and we haven't had any options when it comes to a striking position. Granted, you could say, okay, then maybe sign a younger striker that's going to develop into that person, but that might even be more difficult because we don't know who that person's going to be, and we'd be stifling their growth as well. We'd be saying, well, how can you develop this person if he's going to be sitting on the bench the whole time? So, sometimes when you sign these big players, you assume that they would go straight into the starting 11. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have to work their way into the side. Sometimes there might be something that, Ten Hag maybe has to have this conversation with Ronaldo going, you're not going to play every game. I know people go, that's crazy. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. But that's been part of the problem this season, I think, that we got to a point, certainly after January, where it was our striker was Ronaldo. That was it. And even that came to bite us in the ass eventually. So having just that option of having another, I don't know if he's world-class, but certainly a top-quality striker available, that, fight for your position a little bit, give the manager some headaches. That's not a bad thing. I don't think.
No, it's not. You do need that competition for places, and you do need to, be kept on your toes. You don't want anyone just getting God-given rights to start. I think that's just one of the problems that we have had. Players being really comfortable, players knowing that when standards have been poor, performances have been shocking, the club's in the mud, I'm still playing. And the only person who really felt that wasn't the case this season was probably Rashford. Because as soon as Ralph got here, he went, "You ain't playing, mate." Rashford, you know what I mean? And Wan-Bissaka, he was drastic. His game time was drastically put out. But other than that, Maguire kept getting rewarded time and time again. McTominay and Fred played. Pogba was just Pogba, and he was just injured, plus half an eye out, didn't care. Lingard just never played, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think this Darwin Nunez thing is interesting. We are definitely in for him, it would appear, and we'll have to wait and see where that goes. Smash a like on the video. Let's get the likes up, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let us know. Are you feeling Darwin Nunez? Should Manchester United be in for him? Are you expecting us to get him? How would that impact Ronaldo? How would it impact Man United? And would Darwin Nunez choose us? I know it sounds crazy, but would he choose us over Real Madrid? And even Liverpool potentially, because you don't know what's going to happen with Mane. There's talks of him going to Bayern Munich. He says he's going to give an update after the Champions League final, so it'll be interesting to see what happens then. Because if that does happen,
cryptic, that isn't it?
Very, very cryptic. Very, very cryptic. He might just come back and say, "I'll give you the answer. I'll give you an answer you will all want to hear." Okay, so he might just say, "I'm staying as it is," or talks. I don't know. Whatever. It's a nice position for them to be in, sorting out what they're going to do, because whatever happens, they will act accordingly and move on. They will. Whether Salah leaves or doesn't sign a new deal, they'll be okay. If Mane leaves, they'll do something. Pep will go and find this amazing player and make them better, or just promote Harvey Elliott or something, and then we're all saying, "Fuck you."
Yeah, it's like
Harvey Elliott,
Sir Alex.
Do you know what I mean?
It's if we lose a player, like when you lose like Van Nistelrooy or whatever, just the assumption is, oh, we'll replace him, we'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, if United lost a player like Ruud Van Nistelrooy today, we'd be like, "Oh my god, what are we going to do?" Because we wouldn't be like, "Hey, how are we going to replace him?" Back then, it was just, "Oh, we'll find someone else. We got Ronaldo, we got Rooney. Yeah, we'll find someone." It's cool.
Exactly. Wanted to touch quickly on Manchester United being on Tchouameni standby. Now, this again, I feel like when people watch transfer shows, and me included as a fan, and when we're looking at what's going on in the transfer world, we want the good news. We want a development. We do. We all do. I do. Owen does. You guys do. We want a bid confirmed. How boring does it get when it's like Monitoring FC and Talks FC and Interested FC and Discussed Internally FC and we like the player FC. Like, there's so many FCs we could be in. But I mean, Tom Bridge says straight away, rubbish. He will go to Madrid. Because there were reports sort of saying that, if it Standby FC is the new one. If Tchouameni's move falls through to Real Madrid, Manchester United will swoop in. Well, if it falls through to Real Madrid, I think Liverpool will be the ones to swoop in. So I just wanted to touch on that quickly, because I did see it out there, and just throw it out there just really quickly, but also to throw it out there and quash it, because I just think there's absolutely nothing in that. I think that's a load of nonsense, personally.
No, it was, I think the initial report came from ESPN, and it was saying that there might be a bit of a stumbling block when it comes between Real Madrid and Monaco, because obviously Monaco, you've got the tax situation over there, and Real Madrid wants Monaco to pay the difference in terms of the tax kind of difference there. And they were saying, oh, Monaco might push back a little bit, but also the report was saying too that this isn't the first time that they've even bought a player from Monaco, right? When it comes to James Rodriguez, right? So, and it's not the first time that anyone's bought a player from Monaco. There's always that difference. And eventually the deal always gets worked out. They're not going to be willing to jeopardize losing Tchouameni or losing another big transfer this summer over a couple of £1 million. I think it's maybe like 15 million. And you could say that's a lot, and it is. But in terms of the overall spend of that transfer, which might be close to like 80, I'd be stunned if they're willing to lose it over that. And like you say, even if that deal fell through, there will be other people interested. And again, don't want to be negative, but in that race against Champions League clubs and other clubs even in the Premier League, we're just not going to win. We're just
No.
not going to win that race. Even if it fell through, which I don't think it will, I think he would maybe go to Liverpool or somewhere else instead. I'd be very surprised. And look, he's going to go to Real Madrid anyway. I'd be flabbergasted
Yeah.
if he doesn't.
Well, Andre says, Yo, Flex, they are only mentioning Madrid and Liverpool to force a higher price for United. They did this before with Bruno, but ended up being capped because obviously, look, he ended up coming to Man United. We will get him for the right price. Trust me, says Andre. Andre's convinced. I like that optimism, Andre. I like it. If you're an inside source or something, let me know. DM me. Have you got the exclusives? I ain't got no exclusive like KG said. I ain't got no sources. When it comes to transfers, I don't have no sources. I don't have no, I spoke to this person and I know this and I was told this. I don't have any of that. I'm just a fan. So if you know something, let me know. But I think there's loads of people claim, obviously, that they know this and they know that. I think, like someone said there, Arnold said, no way are we getting Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni isn't leaving Monaco for less than 80 million euros. Someone said, where's that gone? 8 million euros. Big up to Statman 90. Why spend that on one player when we need a rebuild? Makes zero sense.
I like,
yeah.
The other day we were talking about the press conference with Ten Hag. We were talking about all those people in there. We were talking about maybe one day you would have YouTube channels in there and that kind of thing. I live for the day when there'll be a press conference and it'll be like, hi, I'm so-and-so from football 45927 ITK Twitter account. You know what I mean? I'll be so hilarious, wouldn't it? I'm from an ITK Twitter account. Just so
just trying to get some actual credible information that might be reliable.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens, and that's what I mean. We've been saying this, haven't we? We've been really clear on this. Like in transfer season, I mean, the window hasn't even happened yet, and with Man United tipped to have such a busy window, honestly, when that window closes, I think we're all going to be like, oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that. Because I tell you what, it's going to be draining. It's going to be draining as a fan. It's going to be draining as a content creator. It will probably be draining as a journalist as well. Be probably draining as a player and for a manager as well, because you're just getting rumors and links and you're seeing your name pop up every day. For us as fans and / content creators, and you guys at home as fans, it's like you want to see that good news. You're waiting for that dime. You're waiting for that carrot. Do you know what I'm saying? To be like, something's happening. You know, you're seeing other teams. Like look at Aston Villa. Someone said it.
Yeah,
they are going in. You know what I mean? Straight away. And look, who knows? Their signings might not work. You know, remember when they did this last time after this old Jack Grealish and went really hard. And look, they still. It doesn't mean they're going to be amazing.
They were like, Villa's going to be like, top 10, top 8 club, and they got a new manager.
Look what happened.
And people are saying, Steven Gerrard next season is going to be completely different. But
but it's weird because Boubacar Kamara was someone that we were looking at. You know, everyone was talking about him, saying we should get him.
That was clearly done quite a while ago. Do you not think? Because literally the season ended like a day later, he's at Villa's training ground shaking hands with Steven Gerrard.
100%. That doesn't happen in one day.
No, I get the impression that was done like maybe even in January, to the point of people going, wow, why are we interested in Kamara? Probably was a done deal by that point. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it was probably done by that point. And I'm sure, look, if he goes to Villa and he's really successful, he does really well, people going, see, why didn't Man United go after him? Why didn't Man United go after him? But that's the transfer window, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just feel like it's going to go on and on and on and on. There were reports yesterday that Manchester United are turning their attentions to transfer alternatives. And I'll be honest, they're two players I don't know loads and loads about at all, really, if anything. Manchester United have initiated contacts to sign Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder Manu Kone and RB Leipzig right back Nordi Mukiele. That was reported yesterday, and some people were saying that, the talks were kind of quite advanced for that. Man United have made initial contacts over a move for the RB Leipzig right back. Mukiele is valued at between 10 and 15 million euros. It would fit in with what we're trying to do. Like if you look at the price, if it's going to be back up or even if he's going to be starting, whichever, he's young. Let's take a look at some of his stats. He's 24, French international, under 21s, and he obviously plays at Leipzig, and he's a right back. It's not really much else. I mean, I don't watch him. I'll be deadly honest with you, but I found it interesting that that was, you know, being tipped yesterday, and wasn't just being tipped. It was sort of saying that, you know, it's in motion. It's in motion.
Yeah, and it came from pretty reputable outlet as well, L'Equipe in France.
Yeah.
Again, these are both French international, French players as well, so that does make sense from that point. Because I know some people were saying, well, it's a French newspaper or a French outlet reporting on two players based in Germany. Well, it doesn't make any sense. But if they're French internationals, you know, chances are they're probably getting that from sources probably closer to the player as opposed to the clubs. I saw it, and like you, I'm not going to profess like I know a lot about it. I've done the same amount of research as you and anyone else probably has in the last few hours. When you do the Google search, you have a look.
Yeah.
For me, the reason I look at that and I say, well, it does make somewhat sense because that's the kind of business I do see us doing this summer. As I mentioned, we have got, was it 140 million, around that kind of ballpark figure. If you're going to sign 4 players, there's going to have to be a couple in there that are your 10, 50 million pound players. That they're just going to have to be. I think Mukiele's got maybe like a year left on his contract as well, which is why that price is so low. Again, they're young, particularly the midfielder Kone is 21. That would be, again, the player profile that you're looking at. I know they're not as big and, shall we say, sexy names as like your Nunez or, you know, your De Jong. But ultimately, that might be the kind of business that we're doing this summer, really. And, you know, if we're saying that we need new fullbacks, I don't know if Mukiele is the answer to that, but it's a new fullback. It's an international player. If he's good and we signed him for 10, 50 million, you'd be going great bit of business.
Bargain, 100%.
Surprising.
They're the sorts of things that we keep seeing other teams do all the time. Buying players for 15 or 20 million tops, relatively unknown on the, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, that player's good. Where's our value in the market? We talk about value in the market, and I think we're in a position where as fans, we did say this. I know it's the classic line of if Ten Hag wants him, but also we're so done with these players and so done with going for the big names, the one that everybody wants, the astronomical fees. We all said we ain't turning our nose up at anyone, you know, any unknown player or player that I might not have heard of or whatever. Great, cool. If they get him in, we'll have a look. We'll have a look at them and trust that Ten Hag has put structures in place and players have been scouted through that and that they're listening. Do you know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see.
The Kone one's quite interesting just because just looking at it, he signed for Mönchengladbach in January of last year until 2025. He was on loan for the remainder of that season at Toulouse. So he's only actually had one full season at Mönchengladbach, and he's got a lot of time left on his contract. 21 years old. You could argue that might be a bit of a more expensive transfer to do. You're looking to buy someone out of a contract that's got like 3 years left to run. And sometimes when they're younger, midfield, you know, maybe a bit of a sort of person they're going to go in a couple of years' time. It's going to be worth a lot of money. That might be a bit more of a difficult one to do. But certainly the fullback, Mukiele, like I said, I saw that and went, don't know a lot about him. I'm going to maybe try and do a little bit more research. But if you could get a fullback, 50 million, that's more in keeping. Because then you can look at some other players that maybe are a bit more expensive and go, okay, well, maybe you can spend that a bit of money.
Because you've got to cut back on something. You got to, you know what I mean? Exactly. You can't get 5 players at 60, 70 million. We ain't got enough money for that. So we will have to unearth some gems. We will have to, you know, get some unknown entities. Well, a lot of them might be unknown entities, to be fair, because we're looking to develop players into the next stage of their careers, as they keep saying. So we're not going to buy any finished articles at all. I don't think we go for really experienced 29-year-old or someone in their prime. I don't think, because that's not what our strategy is. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's a little bit on the agents of Wan-Bissaka, Dean Henderson. Just wanted some clarity, and Brandon Williams saying they just want some clarity, and they're planning their exit strategies as well. And just, I've seen just quickly that is just kind of breaking down the Telegraph. It's caught my eye. Sadio Mane said to the Telegraph, I have to say, I was really close to going to Manchester United. I had contact there. I had the contract there. I had it all agreed. It was all ready. But instead, I thought, no, I want to go to Liverpool. I was convinced to go with Klopp's project. I don't know what relevance it has to our transfer thing, but just,
No, I remember that at the time, because I remember it might have been like 6 months or a year before he went to Liverpool. We were heavily linked with him. I remember it vividly at the time. And also, I remember being linked to him. And do you remember the reaction to us being linked to him? He's not good enough.
Yeah.
He's not good enough. for Manchester United.
Yeah,
He's not good
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
And again, it goes to show. And maybe if Mane had come to United, maybe it'd have never worked out, and maybe he
And he
wouldn't
would
even be
never
at
have seen
United.
this player.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff, and that's true. But it just goes to show that with any transfer, before they even come to the clubs, like again, you see people like, and we'll see it this year, right? United will be linked to people, and people will be going, "I've seen this person. You might not know about him. I've seen this person," or even if they're from the Premier League, "Oh, he's not good enough. He's not good enough." Ultimately, we don't know. We don't know. Every single transfer, even if you scouted him to death, is an educated guess. And you never know how they're going to work out. They might come to the club, they might be terrible, they might flop, or they might do well. So, you can get excited and you can do your research and you can do your scouting and see if they fit in the right positions. That's ultimately the Man United scouts' job to do. But us as fans, to immediately write them off is sometimes a bit silly. But let's face it, actually, if he had come to United, given the sort of United curse of
never have
players,
seen this Mane.
No.
He would have come to United. We would have got rid of him, saying, "Oh, he's dog." Like getting back to Southampton, and he would have left Man United and then gone to Liverpool or whoever, and then he would have been this. That's what would happen. We would have ruined him. No player comes to Manchester United gets better. None. This I found this quite funny. Something like Kurs was saying. The agent of another Man United player is so in the dark. He asked the reporter if they were aware of any decision made on his client's future, says Luckhurst. And he also says the representatives of Dean Henderson, Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams have already sought clarity and are already planning an exit strategy. I mean, imagine
a reporter. He means him.
You heard
right?
anything? Yeah, he definitely means him.
Yeah.
You heard anything?
He asked a reporter. I don't know which reporter it would be. What are you? I'm a reporter reporting this story. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Ray S, thanks for the super chat. Says, I think if we get Timber, Torres, De Jong will never, Nunez or Nkunku or both, we can go for the title. I'm not with you there, Ray S. No. I'm not with you there. I rate the optimism, bro. I rate the optimism, Ray, but I don't see any amount of transfers that we do in this window. Doesn't matter what the personnel is. We could, like I said, we could have got Mbappe, made a shock move and got him. We could have bloody got Declan Rice and another world-class center. Whatever. I just can't see that, mate. I can't see it. So
no. And also as well, it must be said that even if we have, say, a good start to the season, it's like October, November, and we're maybe like 3-6 points off top. Even then,
I'll take that.
But even then, I'm still going to be like, we're not winning the league.
No,
we're not having. I'm not having it next year.
It would be. It would be so. It would be so crazy if something mad did happen next season. Though. Just like we got to Christmas and we were like 2 points off Liverpool and City.
Well,
or
let's say because again, the fixtures obviously they don't come out for a little bit, but when they do come out, Flex, imagine our first run of like 8 games. They're all winnable.
Yeah, no, but I don't. No, that's the key. It's when you just said there, and we do win them all. I don't. Even if they look winnable, don't care. No, not getting.
I say 8. Imagine we win like just our first like 3 games.
Exactly.
We'd be like, oh my goodness.
I reckon, and it's so hard to predict now. I just reckon it'll be a mixed start. I think we'll see. I think in the first 5 games or so, we'll see like 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, or like 3 wins.
When it came to the fixtures,
a loss and a draw or something.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer to maybe have sometimes, because how it usually goes, isn't it? Sometimes like your first 5 games, they're either super easy or you might get like 2 really difficult ones, and then you go,
yeah. I wouldn't mind a couple of. I know we need to give Ten Hag time, and you want to kind of feel your way into the season and have like an easier run. I would actually prefer a couple of high pressure games quite early on to see how they do.
Because there's 2 ways to look at it, isn't
away from home, so that you keep building, so that later on in the season you've got those big games at home in the crunch end of the season where the team's more settled and used to Ten Hag. So I'd rather get like Liverpool away out the way early when it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean?
There's 2 ways to look at it, isn't there? There's the idea of you have a run of easy games at the start, build up momentum, get the wins under the belt, that kind of thing. But sometimes if you do play those bigger teams at the start, they're less ready. Like when Spurs
Yeah,
played City on the opening game of last season.
they catch
You
them
know,
off, catch
they
them off
weren't.
guard.
You catch them off, and like you said,
Yeah,
also you get them out of the way. When you get to the sort of second half of the season, they're out of
yeah.
the way. Then you can build. That's when you really want to be building up
Well,
the
look at the
momentum, or
problems
at the
we
end
were
of the
in when we
season.
had to look at the problems we were in, and you have to include Arsenal. When in the same sort of week we had Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Chelsea at home. Like
Mm,
we, we're fucked. Like
yeah.
we got rinsed. We got
Yeah,
absolutely
and
rinsed.
look
I
at
know
City. Look, City won the league. They lost their opening game of the season.
exactly.
Arsenal, again, they realized they should have got top four. Ultimately,
Yeah,
they bottled it. They lost. Was it the first two games?
three in a
So
row. The
three in a
international
row.
break,
So
they
you want
hadn't
to
scored a goal. They're bottom of the league. Mad.
exactly. But sometimes it's almost not a bad thing to get that slow start against those
No,
difficult teams, and then
yeah.
just they're out the way. They're done.
I wouldn't be opposed to getting City and Liverpool home or away, preferably away in the first 8 games.
Mm,
I know people may say you're crazy because it's going to be humiliating so early on. You're going to have to take the licks. Yeah, but it's short term pain for long term gain, and I see it as, like you said,
yeah,
get them out the way, because when we're settled under Ten Hag, and when we're trying to build and work towards you get a better idea of where the season's going, and it's sort of March times now, and you're like, fucking hell, we're near the top four, we're in a good position here. Then you got to go away to the Etihad, away to
yeah.
at Anfield, away to Arsenal, away to Chelsea, or whatever, away to Tottenham. That's going to be tough next year. Away to
But
Newcastle, whatever. But you have
mm,
to play the big team. Look, it's the league, innit? It's 38 games.
yeah,
You got to do it. You know what I mean? Even
my concern would.
the more average teams we've been shit against. So it doesn't
From a Ten
matter.
Hag perspective, my concern would be with those early big games, just be like, if it's a couple of losses, the
Oh,
eyebrow starts going up.
100%. 100%. I mean,
You
and
know?
that's where, again, we have to stay strong as fans. I've seen some wild takes on the internet about Ten
Oh
Hag
my
already.
God.
It's
So have I
ridiculous.
already.
So stupid.
He's already
Battle
a
down the
puppet.
hatches.
He's already a
Battle
puppet.
down the hatches, mate. Honestly, like, the guy hasn't even had one preseason game yet. He ain't even bought one player. He ain't even sold one player. He ain't
Yeah.
even taken a training session.
He hasn't
Like,
officially even been
oh,
in the job for a week. He officially started on Monday. People are going, he's a
yeah,
puppet. He's a puppet.
yeah.
Why hasn't he
Oh,
bought 3 players at this point? Why?
honestly. There you go. Shubadeep says, I would have liked us to seriously go for Tariq Lamptey and Jared Bowen. Love from India to Flex and Owen and the whole community. I'm not opposed to Tariq Lamptey. Looks really good. He's not even starting all the games
Yeah.
at Brighton, but I think that's because Graham Potter's just managing him really well. I think he's just keeping him out of the limelight, and that. And Kukurea looks like he's, could be on the way to Chelsea or City. They're linked
City.
with him.
You can see him for
Yeah,
City. You can just see that.
absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
fits.
Very, very good
Fits
player. Very good
perfectly.
player.
I think they'll do a bit
So,
better though next season, Brighton, though. I think
yeah,
they went through
yeah,
that little patch this season where they didn't win any games in a while. Everyone's like, "What's going on there?" And because at a point of time, remember, like Potter was actually being somewhat linked to the United job,
yeah.
and then they just completely fell off the map. And then towards the end of the season, they picked it back up. I think next season they'll be a little bit further up. They're a good side, aren't they? They are
Yeah,
a
they
really good
are.
side.
They are. They are. He knows what he's doing. And towards the end of the season, they were so strong. They were just dispatching of everyone. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? With ease, So
Yeah,
they play great football. We watch some of the goals they scored against West Ham as well. Just good football. The build-ups is always good. Really
yeah.
neat, really tidy. Smash the like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much for watching. We're back with another transfer video very, very soon. Enjoy your day. Weather's nice here in the UK, where I am. What's it like where you are? Is it all right?
It's all right. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi Day, though, Flex. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi
Oh,
and
is it?
Stranger Things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Obi-Wan Kenobi Day, yeah?
Yep. First 2 episodes. I haven't watched them yet. No spoilers or anything like that, but they
Right.
came out
I've
this
been
morning.
been
And
waiting for that.
Stranger Things, Part 1. It's out today. Exciting.
Stranger Things. Oh, the thing with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
On
even
Netflix.
finish. I didn't even finish. I did really enjoy that, the first season of that. I didn't come back in for the second. This must be the third season, isn't it?
Fourth.
Oh,
It's fourth
fourth.
and
There you go. I'm
final
way
one.
behind. Yeah.
Fourth and final one, and the first batch comes out today, and the second batch comes out later on in the
Oh,
summer.
they did it like
I
Ozark.
think
Right. Okay.
I think the second season's the best one. I thought the third season was okay, but the second season was really,
I
really
can't remember what it's about. It's about the little alien kid, isn't it? What's her name again? She's got
She's not
shaved
an
hair.
alien. she gets tested on, but she's got powers. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. What's her name again?
11. Millie Bobby
11.
Brown.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I did like that. I just never went back to it. I'm gonna. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna do that through the summer. That's what I'm gonna be on. I did like that, but I need to go back to it. I was on Ozark.
Yeah.
I was on Ozark.
I've never seen that.
Oh, you got to see Ozark.
Yeah.
You got to see Ozark. Very good.
I haven't seen that. That's finished now, isn't it? The final season's just come out, hasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's finished. Just finished.
Yeah, I can watch it all.
Yeah, 100%. Big up to 11. Big up to those who'll be watching Stranger Things. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back again with another video soon, guys. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace.